Today we're going to be doing another project on the Polaris. I actually picked up a plow for this unit. I got a KFI plow, steel plow. Comes with the mounting bracket, comes with the push bar, and we have the blade also. So they say we're going to get about 5 to 9 inches of snow today, so it came in just in time. So let's see what's involved in getting this thing hooked up, and hopefully it does the job. So putting the blade together is pretty straightforward. First thing is you have these brackets here that you bolt in. This is where those are going to go. They give you a bunch of washers and stuff so you can adjust the proper height depending on how you want it. If you have like a tarred driveway, you can probably just put the blade right on the ground. But I have a gravel driveway, so I'm going to be using these just to keep it slightly off the ground, just so I'm not digging in like crazy. You have the rubber flap here for the top. I'll be putting that on after I get it installed on the machine. And then as far as the push bars, so they give you a couple of bolts, and you have these big spacers that go in between here. Lock nut on there, so those just bolt on there. You have your winch plate that just bolts onto there, and then you have your springs, and they give you different adjustment holes for different tension. And then you have your eye bolt, and you can just shorten or lengthen that depending on how much tension you want on your spring. Okay, so that's pretty much all that's involved in getting the blade set up. Next thing is we're going to be putting on the mount. Okay, and this is the mount. Now the bumper that came with my unit, mine is a premium. So this, I believe, they call the Glacier bumper. And it's designed to hook up here and here, and these are going to hook onto those bars right there. Okay, so if you don't have the Glacier bumper, you have a bracket that just bolts to the bottom of the frame in the front there, but because we have this, it's nice. It's just a quick connect. You just drop it on, latch it over, and then it's good to go. So let's get the bracket mounted onto the hitch, onto the push bar, and then we'll get it slid over and hooked up and see how it works. After that, we will put the lift legs on there and adjust them to the proper height. If you have the regular bumper, there's going to be a bracket that bolts to the frame, and then you're going to put your pins through here, and that's where it's going to pivot. This one's going to be a little different. So you have 3 holes here, which line up with the 3 holes on here. It's going to go up like that, and then it'll pivot on the other points. Alright, so we get some nuts and bolts here. And these are going to mount up on here. Alright, so if you look at the instructions, these bolts are going to go this way. Okay, so we're going to bolt those on, and then we'll bolt these bigger bolts. They're going to go on here. So let's get that done. Okay, so these nuts are 9/16. These are probably 9/16 also, and they are. Okay, so we get those 3 bolted on. And let's see, next step is bolting on these here. And these are going to go there like that. Washer on that side. Washer on that side. And put these washers on the outside, along with the lock washer. And then we'll put the nut on. Tighten these up. Okay, those are nice and secure. And the last step is we got to put the latches on. Let's see how those go. Okay, so we're going to take this bracket, slide it on here. We have a washer, and then we have a cotter pin. That's going to hold that in place. Same thing on this side. Oops, wrong way. Okay. And I just need to grab some pliers and bend those cotter pins over. Okay, now that those are in place, when we hook it onto the bumper, this is going to latch on there, and then we have these pins that'll lock it in place. So let's get it slid over here, and we'll see if we can get this mounted up. Okay, now that we get it lined up, just going to lift it up and put it up on here. And then we'll take our pins. Pretty simple. The other pin. What's nice is when you slide it in, this piece will go right in and flop over, so you're not really wrestling with it. That in. Okay, the only other thing is I'm going to hook up the winch cable. And the winch cable is going to go right down here. as you've seen on the previous video, I do have a switch inside for the winch, but I also have one outside, which I've mounted right here. Plug this in. There we go. Alright, let's pull this up here. There we go. Okay, so the next thing is we want to adjust the height of the feet on here. Okay, now that it's all hooked up, let's just make sure it's working. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is adjust the height of the feet that we're going to put on there, just so it's not scraping up all my gravel. So let's get that installed. Alright, so they give you some adjustment here. They say first of all, put a washer on the bottom, put one of these rubber washers on. Okay, slide it up there. We'll just start with this and see how it looks, and we can adjust it if need be. Throw a few more of these washers on here. Okay, and then they get these funky little pins. So let's see, go with this, like that. Okay. Do the other side. So that's pretty simple. And we'll just drop the blade down and see kind of where we're at here. Okay, so as you can see, we've got quite a gap under here right now, and I'm not really crazy about the angle on the blade. So we're going to change that up a little bit and see if we can get this thing set up properly. Alright, so what I ended up doing is putting 3 washers on the bottom, and that gave me about a 1/4 inch or so of clearance, which is what I want. I want it pretty close to the ground, but I don't want it actually scraping. Alright, so next thing we got to do is just tighten down the tension on the springs, and we get those bolts installed, and that's what keeps it from springing back all the way. It's kind of a stop. There's different holes there for adjustment depending on what angle you want on the blade. We got the winch tied in here. This is your lever to release to pivot left and right. And so we're going to tighten those up, and then I'm going to put the rubber flap on the top. Okay, so the flap sits on top here. You have these carriage bolts which have a square notch in them. There is a square notch in the plow itself, and it's basically just feeding them through and putting them on there. And then you just put a washer and a lock nut. We'll just go right down the line, put those all on, secure them, and then that'll be all set. Okay, now we got the flap on there. And should be good to go. So, I'm going to drop the plow down. And let's have at it. See, even with just that little bit of snow on the ground, it is plowing really nice. So I think this is going to work good once we get the snow next week. So I'm just going to clear this up a little bit, and we'll see what happens when we get some real snow again. Alright guys, so we got the plow all set up. It's working great. I'm just waiting for some more snow. We missed out on the last storm, but I'm sure there'll be plenty more. So if you have any comments, any questions, leave them below. If you like the video, give a thumbs up, give a like, give a share, and we'll catch you on the next one.